All right, so I have my ring in my scene. And actually, for the sake of making this easier to see, I'm going to change my blend mode back to opaque. That way it's just red. I'll leave the emissive on. And yeah, so it's bright pink, easy to see. You can do what you want to with it though. So I have this ring and I want to set it up so that it will rotate by itself, where it'll spin. To do that, we need to create something called a blueprint. Now, a blueprint is a special kind of class that you can use to create different objects that have different behaviors. We'll get into that later. For now, all we want to do is go to our content drawer, go to our content folder, go to right click, new folder, and call it blueprint. Blueprints with an S. There we go. Double click that. I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to create a blueprint class. And we have different things we can set it to be: an actor, pawn, or character. I'm going to set it as an actor. Now, an actor is just an object that can be placed or spawned in the world. A pawn can be possessed and played, while a character is a special kind of class that Unreal has for setting up a whole character that will walk around. We don't want that. We just want actor. Click on that. I'll call this BP ring. Now, BP is a prefix for blueprint. Then let's double click that and open it up. And here we go. So this opens up the blueprint editor. In here, we have our components, which are a list of things that are attached to that blueprint. We have our viewport with tabs for a construction script, which we're not going to worry about yet. And then an event script, which we'll worry about in a little bit. For now, though, let's leave it at the viewport. We want to add in our ring as one of the components for our blueprint. To do that, we go to add, and I can search up here for a mesh, or let's say static mesh. There we go. I'm going to add in static mesh, and I'll call this ring mesh. There we go. Now we can set that static mesh here on the right hand side. So with ring mesh selected over here on the right, I'm going to click this and I can see a list of all of the meshes that I can add to it. I'm just going to search ring. There we go. SM simple ring. Now this mesh doesn't have the material applied to it. No big deal. All we have to do is go to our content drawer, go to our materials, and drag that onto our ring. Or actually, we have to drag that over here in the elements for the material, like that. Now we have our ring static mesh. Click on save. Go back to our test map. I'm going to select this ring that was there beforehand, and I'm going to delete it. Instead, I'll go to my content drawer, blueprints, and grab that BP ring and drag that in. And we can see it is still way too big. So I'll go back to my BP ring, and I'm going to change the scale of the static mesh to be 0.1 on all axes. And click save. And there we go. We now have our static mesh attached to our blueprint. I'll go back to my blueprint, and here we have a component called BP ring self. So that's the actual blueprint. Default scene root, and then ring mesh. Now you always have to have a root object. You always have to have a root component. By default, it's this empty thing. We want to set it so the root object is this ring mesh. So I'm going to click this and drag that onto default scene root. Now our root object is that mesh. Cool. Click on save. Go back to our scene, and there we go. We have our ring. But this isn't doing anything yet. If I press play, I can actually control and see and look at my game, but it's not really behaving like a game should, but still. We have this ring. I want this ring to spin. We can do that pretty quickly. Go to BP ring, go to our event graph. Here we have event begin play, event begin overlap, and event tick. For right now, Let's go ahead and go with event begin play. I'm going to drag off from this node right there. So this little triangle node. And I'm going to drag off and it'll give me the option to add in a node. I'm going to print string. There we go. So event begin play runs when you press begin play. And it's going to print out hello. Cool. We'll save. We're going to hit this compile button. Back to our scene and press play. And there we go. It was just there for a second, but you might have seen where in the top left-hand corner in bright blue, it said hello. Cool. We just wrote our first Blueprint program. If I go here and actually click this downward button, I can change the settings for it, make it for how long it opens up or how long it stays up. I'm going to change the duration of this to be 30 seconds. Just for the sake of making this a little easier to see. And here, I can change the in string to be hello Unreal. I compile and save. Press play. Now it says hello Unreal for longer. Cool. We'll talk more about what event begin play and what that is later. Let's just get this thing spinning so we can break it down afterwards. I'm going to go down to this event tick thing. Event tick happens every frame, so it happens a bunch of times. I'm going to select the event tick and drag off from here, and I'm going to do rotation. And I'm going to say add actor world rotation. And I want it to spin around Z. So I'll change the delta rotation Z to 1. Compile, save, go back, let's press play. And we can see now it's spinning really slowly, 1 degree per frame. Cool. We just created our second real program. This blueprint now spins. And we can adjust the speed by changing the amount it rotates to, let's say, 5. Compile and save. Press play. Now it's spinning faster. Well, that's going to be it for this. I know we kind of just rushed into making it work and do things. We're going to break this down into individual parts in a little bit. I just want you to see how easy it's going to be to do some of our programming. You're just dragging some nodes together. The trick comes down to learning which node to work with, but you get some basic functionality with just one simple node.